Hey, this is Mariela from the Functional Company. All right, today I want to talk about the best tool to use to actually verify your progress. Because oftentimes I've talked about what we want to look at in terms of how our body is operating. We want to have good mental focus, good energy, no dips in energy, reduce cravings. We don't want to have cravings for sugar, and then we want to have good sleep, etc. Right? But we also want to verify by objective statistics. We want to see what is actually happening in the body. So there's an actual device where you can actually check your blood sugar and you can check your ketones. So just to remind you, ketones are what your body releases, or it's the byproduct of burning fat. So if you want to know, is my body burning fat efficiently? What we want to see is that your blood sugar is low, it's not too high, and we want to see that your body is burning fat, and so it's releasing these ketones into the blood. So you can actually measure the quantity of ketones, which is telling you if your body is in a fat burning state. And you can also just check your blood sugar at different points in the day, just so that you can actually see when you feel great, what does it look like? What do the numbers look like? When you don't feel so great, what do the numbers look like? When you eat certain foods, what do the numbers look like? If you fast, what do the numbers look like before and after? Things like that. So it'll give you just a lot of feedback information where you can, with those numbers, you can then be like, okay, I know I'm on the right track, and you can just keep going. Or if you're just like, oh my gosh, my blood sugar spiked, I can't do X, right? It just depends on what you're doing. So there's more information in terms of, there's a lot of strategies in terms of when to test, because you could test in, definitely when you first wake up, before eating. You could also test half an hour after eating, or right before eating. Or if you're curious about a certain food, let's say you're like, I wonder what happens when I eat a cookie. You can eat a cookie and then half an hour to an hour later test yourself and then see what happens, right? I wonder what happens when I fast. You can test yourself during a fast at different points, right? So it's really good information. But this is something that I highly recommend to anybody who has a body and wants to keep their health long term, because you're gonna want to know what your blood sugar is doing. Remember that blood sugar problems are the things that lead to things such as diabetes and heart disease. You know, at the base of heart disease, for example, is diabetes for a lot of people. It's the number one thing that can go wrong when you have diabetes. You can have heart complications, right? So we want to avoid all these things: obesity, tiredness, chronic fatigue, etc. Oftentimes these are going to be related, and hormone problems. They're all going to be related to the blood sugar. So you want to be testing your blood sugar at the very minimum. And so you might not be doing ketosis, or might not be pushing yourself to a completely fat adapted state, but you still want to keep your blood sugar under control. And if you are burning ketones, that's a huge, huge bonus. So you want to keep your blood sugar down, and you want to have some amount of ketones. So how many ketones, for example, you're going to have in the reading, you're going to have somewhere between 0.5 and 1.5, or maybe 2 in the ketone reading. And then for the blood sugar, you want to have it when you wake up. It just depends on whether or not you're burning, if you have ketones as well. So you're going to want to keep it around 70 to 85, somewhere like that, right? If you're jumping into the 120s, 130s, you know there's a big problem and you have to bring that down. You really want to keep it under 100, under 95, especially in the fasting blood sugar. Anyway, there's lots more to know, and I can make more videos if you're interested in terms of, you know, ranges and when to test and all of this stuff. But what I want to share with you is just this tool is so valuable. And the reason I love Keto Mojo is because there are other testing units, but you have to get the strips from one place and the little meter from another place, and the strips are pretty expensive. So Keto Mojo has it in a kit, which is fantastic, and you can get the glucose strips and the ketone strips, and they have an application that you can actually link via Bluetooth, and all of your readings, you can have your statistics right on your phone. So in the description of this video, I will share a link where you can actually purchase the Keto Mojo, which I highly, highly, highly recommend if you're just really interested in your own health. It's not something you're going to do every single day, but maybe for the first few weeks, you're going to really do a lot more testing, and then you can spread it out a little bit more once you get used to your own numbers and you know what works for you and you know what doesn't. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. That's what I have to share with you this time around, and I will see you on the flip side. Hey, if you're liking the information on this channel, don't forget to subscribe, click the button, and share this with your friends and family. We've got lots more information coming. Thanks so much for being here.